In today's video, I'm going to be sharing popular urban fiction books I have not read. I'm also going to be telling you why. Now, these books are considered highly recommended and must-read books. I've picked them up, but I was only able to get a few chapters in. My name is Raquel. I talk about all things Black books. Welcome and welcome back. Let's get into these 5 popular urban fiction books. So, the first book is The Zoo Boys by Tatiana Timmons. So, I tried to read The Zoo Boys back when it first came out, and I got a couple chapters in. I did not read the synopsis. I went in blind thinking, oh wow, a motorcycle story, right? So I start to read the book and it doesn't pull me in. I believe I got 4 chapters in. So I know that it is about these different characters who are, dating these different girls. I wanted more motorcycle stuff in the beginning of the book. Now, I'm pretty sure there's more in the book. It just didn't do what I needed to do within those first 4 chapters. I also felt like it was a bunch of young people. Now, don't get me wrong, I read about young people. But at this particular point, I was not looking to read about 20-year-old shenanigans. And so it didn't pull me in. There wasn't nothing wrong with the book. I just didn't get what I came for. Since then, a number of other books have come out and it is now a series. So it's a possibility I might go back and pick it up at a later time. At that particular time, it just wasn't given what I needed. And yeah, I just wasn't interested in some young people shenanigans. So I moved on, and it's a possibility I might go back at a later date. The second book is, or this one is a series, and it is The Eisenberg Effect by Gray Huffington. Now, I have been wanting to read Gray Huffington since I discovered her. And at this point, I have read a couple of her books, but I have never gotten into The Eisenberg Effect, which is very popular. People speak very highly of Gray Huffington. So I started out thinking that I could possibly read Lyric first. And I still don't know if you're able to read it out of order, but I tried Lyric. It didn't pull me in. And I waited a while. I went back. I've read the Unbreak Me series. I don't know what the series is called, but one of the books is called Unbreak Me. It's a series of 3. All books are under 100 pages. It was really good. I liked it. I said, cool. I went back and I read Chemistry. And Chemistry was good. It took me like maybe 60% before I could really get into the story. And at that point, like I said, it was good. But then I went back and I tried to read Luca. Didn't work out. And I think it was Luca. I know that it starts out with this guy talking to either his son or a younger brother who he's trying to keep on track after he's made some stupid mistake or whatever. But excuse me, that first part was interesting, but it seemed right after that, it kind of went downhill for me. It was hard for me to uh, connect to the book, hard for me to pay attention. And so I just put it down. I have every intention on reading The Eisenberg Effect, but what I feel like might be the problem is it might be a slow burn. And so I need patience in order to just be able to sit down and take it in slowly, because I do believe it's going to pick up like later on, kind of the way Chemistry did. But I don't have the patience for it right now. But I am definitely going to be reading The Eisenberg Effect somewhere in the future. Now, book number 3 is Applying Pressure by Siobhan Latrice. I enjoy Siobhan Latrice books. Oh my God. Um, uh, The Art of Hood Love. That is one of my favorite series of 2025. The Art of Hood Love was so good to me. When it came to applying pressure, it didn't feel real. It felt very unrealistic for me. I don't know that a NFL player who has to be extremely disciplined could be so unhinged, who could just kind of press himself on, who would even want to press himself on somebody who really shows that they aren't interested. Like, I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. It didn't feel realistic. I could not connect to it. From what I've heard about the book, a lot it gets really, really good reviews, but I think that I've had enough of over the top unhinged. I get being unhinged, but this book seems that it is over the top, sort of like Tony Wacko. Tony Wacko to me was over the top unhinged. It was too much, in my opinion. And I think that this one is a bit too much for me as well. I don't have any desire to read Applying Pressure at all. None whatsoever. So I won't be going back to Applying Pressure. At least I don't think I will. I don't anticipate it. It is not something that is interesting to me. Now let's talk about the Danger series. Now, the Danger series was a book that I was interested in when it first came out. It seems like the more time goes past that this book gets more popular. I tried reading the Danger series and I was not able to connect to the first book. It is about this guy who was conceived in order to help one of his siblings who has some sort of illness. Now, um, I heard of a true story that happened something like that. I think it was back in the 80s or the 90s or something. I don't know. But either way it goes, I don't know if that's why I can't connect to it because I know that true story, or is it because I just didn't connect to it. I don't know. Whatever the reason is, I could not connect to this book. And believe me, I tried. I have picked this book up so many times and I keep picking up where I left off. So for as much as I've read, I know the story and it just doesn't connect with me. I've thought about moving on to book number 2. And the funny thing is, I believe book number 1 is a forbidden trope. So that's one of the reasons why I am really, really wanting to read that book and not finding myself able to connect to it is super frustrating. I'm thinking about moving on to the second book. Maybe if I could get into the second book, then I could go back to book number 1 because that happens with me sometimes. I'll, read a book and it'll make me interested in, reading more or not wanting to go any further. And so I'm hoping that book 2 will inspire me to read book 1, but book 1 not working for me. Just could not get into it. And then we have book number 3, which is the most popular book. This is another book that seems to get more popular as time goes by. This one is Demon's Dream by Elle Kaysen. Let me say off the top, I am so turned off by the name of the book. Demon's Dream? Like who? I'm not into demons. I'm not into spirits, not into scary, haunted. I don't even like Halloween. None of the stuff. I don't like it. So just the name of the book is a turn off to me. The other thing that I don't like is that I am not into the arranged marriage trope. Now, I know this isn't an arranged marriage trope um, because I've read 16 chapters of this book. This one is about a family, these two kind of mafia type families. The son goes out and does something that is against this other family, and the daughter winds up having to pay for it. And her penance is to spend 30 days with the son of this other family who nobody seems to want to be bothered with. And he knows that, you know, something's up with him. But he's attracted to her. And so now she's got to spend 30 days with him. Now, like I said, I know that isn't the arranged marriage trope, but it gives those same vibes where she's got to, go be with this man for 30 days in order to appease something that's happened in the family. And I don't understand why her father doesn't step up and do something. Aren't you like a mob guy too? Like, you can't protect your daughter? Like, what the heck is going on here? I don't know. I could not get into it. That is too much. Now, although I did read 16 chapters of this book, in the grand scheme of this book being over 700 pages, 16 chapters is little or nothing. It's like a blip in the book, like a period in that book. But I read enough of it to know that, number one, I don't like the way it goes down. I don't like the fact that her father did not protect her. And maybe he does later on in the book, but you've got to get me into it first before you can turn me off. And so I just am not interested for those reasons. Now, I hear great things about all of these books. The reviews are phenomenal for these books. If you've read any of those books aside from Demon's Dream, so if you've read any of these books and you think it's worth it that I go back and say, read Applying Pressure or Zoo Boys, Eisenberg Effect, or The Danger Family, tell me something that you think will pique my interest and make me go back and read it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and do all of the YouTube things like comment, share, subscribe. Until next time, see you soon.